Start by creating virtual switch type, either internal or private. It depends. If you choose internal switch, it means your host machine will be connected with the virtual machines. If you choose private, it means your machines will be connected with the virtual machine will be connected to each other. So first we need to create external because we need to download the Windows 7 image to the server. Okay, so we'll give the server an external connection to the server 172.18.2020 so it can download the Windows 7 image from it. We just create external switch, okay? I'll choose wireless because I'm connected to the wireless adapter. Okay, I'm getting to the connections to the wireless adapter. I'll create two virtual switch. One is external, the other one is the private one. First, I will connect the server to the external switch so I can copy the Windows 7 image, and then when I copy the Windows 7 image, I will connect it to the private switch. So this is external switch, okay? I'll create another switch, which is the internal switch. Okay, the private switch, I'll name it private. Okay. Let's now create the virtual machine. Virtual machine, Windows Server 2012 R2. Generation 2. So I just set the memory to 4 GB. First, I will connect it to the external. Let's choose 80 GB, and then browse the image which is located on my desktop, and then next, the summary of my configuration for the virtual machine. Which virtual machine? Which is the server operating system. Finish. I can change the settings by setting two processors. This will improve the performance of my virtual machine. Let us connect it to it and then switch it on. The installation process will be started. Set as it is. Okay, install. Product key, I already have it here. Next, I choose which one? Windows Server 2012 R2 standard with GUI. Why? Because I need a graphical user interface to deal with. You choose the first one, you will have just command line interface Windows Server. Next, accept. Now we choose custom installation because you don't have any previous installation of Windows Server. This is allocated space of 80 gigabyte. Okay, we'll use it. If you want to use it all, okay, just click next. If you would want to make partitions, okay, then you can click next and new and type how much gigabyte you need. Okay, so I basically use all to partition, all the allocated space to create a partition, primary partition. After the installation process, as you see here, it started automatically after the configuration of the DNS and promoting this computer to domain controller. It asks to restart. Now you will note that the username, how you log into your computer, is changed. Okay? So we will check now. You will see there's a differentiation, or you see different a way of signing in inside your computer. Just the name is changed. Now we see HRJ / administrator, okay, instead of just administrator. Any questions till now, or it's clear? Any questions? Do you have questions? You need to do it by yourself so you can understand. Okay? You need to do it by yourself. Practice will make difference. If you do many practice, you will understand it. Okay, as you see here, our administrator user has been changed to HRJ / administrator. As you see here, HRJ / administrator. You type the same password and you'll see it's login. Now, we'll check if we have a work group or domain. Now we see we'll have a work group which is now HRJ changed to domain hrj.com. So this computer name is svr.hrj.com. Any questions? Any questions till now? Okay. Now we're gonna install the Dhcp server. We go to manage, add roles and features, and then next, and choose the Dhcp server. It will ask you again, okay, to install prerequisites features for the Dhcp server. You need to add these features because if you don't add it, it won't work properly. Click on next, install, and pause this installation, pause this recording until I finish. Okay, after the installation already done, you see you need to complete the Dhcp configuration. Okay? Again, if you forget it, you can find it here. Complete the Dhcp configuration. So if you forget it, let's say you forget and click close, you can find a yellow rectangle here. You need to complete the Dhcp configuration by committing that the administrator is a part of the Dhcp host. Commit that the administrator, okay, and close. Now it's okay. The Dhcp server is ready now. We need to configure the DHCP scope. Which range of IP addresses you need to give. Let's say for our server starting with 192.168.1.1, okay, you need to exclude this IP address. If you want to give the IP addresses, you can't give 192.168.1.1 because it's the static IP address for this server. If you have another server, for example, that has an IP address of 192.168.1.2, then you need also to exclude this server. On IP version 4, right click and then choose new scope. Next, here you type the name for this scope, for example HRJ or for example WDS scope. Okay. Next, you type the first IP address. We will give the first IP addresses here, but we will exclude it later. 192.168.1.1 to 192.168.1.254. Let's choose it like this, okay, from 1 to 254. Now the exclude the range that we have two, let's say that we have two server that we need to exclude. The first server from 1 to 192.168.1.2. So we have two IP addresses that we need to use as a static. Okay, we'll add it and then click next. Here, the least time, the time that you will, the client computer will keep the IP addresses, the time that the computer will keep the IP addresses for, the range, okay, the period of the time. So it's better, if you want to keep it as it is, it's okay. If you want to, in the future, inshallah, if you work for companies, they may choose to decrease the time for example, let's say for 1 day only, okay? It's for security purposes. So let's keep it as it is, as we are just learning. Now we choose later configuration for the scope option. We'll configure the scope option. Now we have a scope here, WDS scope, and we will configure the scope option. Choose number 5, which is name server. This is svr.hrj.com, and it should resolve the IP addresses, which is 1.1. Next, DNS server, which is svr.hrj.com. Again, still solved. Okay. Finally, number 15, which is the DNS domain name, hrj.com. Apply. We already configured the scope option. Now we need to activate the scope. Okay. For the DHCP start working. Activated already. Can notice here from here. Okay. In the dashboard, we have already the server for ADDS, which is Active Directory Domain Services, DHCP, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, and the DNS Domain Name Server. Okay, already activated and working properly. Okay, we already finished the configuration for the DHCP server and for the DNS and the ADDS. Now we need to proceed to the WDS, which is the Windows Deployment Service. We usually use the Windows Deployment Service to remotely install Windows through the network. Okay, so deploying is the same, it's close to install, but we can install the Windows. In our case, we will deploy Windows 7 on a virtual machine. Okay, so for that we need to mount first the image, or we need to install the WDS role on our server. Windows Deployment Services. We need also to install the features, prerequisites features. Next, and install. Pause. Okay, we already successfully added all the images to the installation directory of the WDS server. Now click finish and you will see 4 images: home premium, professional, ultimate, and home basic. 4 versions. Okay. You need now to start the WDS server before the deployment proceed. Start it. Okay. Successfully started. Now it's working. It's supposed to be everything is working. Okay. Now we need to go to Hyper-V and create a new virtual machine without adding the image. So this is client machine with generation 1 or 2. What do you think? Should be generation 1, because or you can choose. Let's just choose generation 1. Just choose generation 1 and same or connected to the private switch. Okay. We choose 60 gigabyte. Next, install operating system later. Okay, because or install an operating system from a network-based server, installation server. This option will allow your client to connect or to boot from network and check if there is a Dhcp server or the Wds server installed in your virtual machine. Click next, and this is the summary of your installation. This is the client, okay? We didn't add any image, any ISO image. We didn't add any ISO image. We want this machine to boot from network. Okay, so we will launch it. Okay, now it's searching for, as you see, it look for the DHCP server, making connection between the server and the client. Click F12 directly, it will be connected to the server 192.168.1.1. Now it's booting files. It boot files from the server. Windows already loaded. Okay. Now you can simply install Windows operating system to the network. Okay. When you come to this step, it will ask your administrative password. Administrator, which administrator password? The domain administrator password. Okay. Now click next, and it will ask your administrator password. Okay. So type administrator at hrj.com or hrj backslash administrator. It's two type, okay? Two type, either administrator at hrj.com, which is the domain that I have, or hrj backslash administrator. And the password that I have, which is the next. Okay. Okay. Image loaded. Image loaded. Now we have, as you see here, we can install professional, Windows Professional. We'll use all allocated space. We'll pause the recording until, or let's pause the recording. After installing expanded Windows 5, now it's installing features, as you see here. So we'll pause the recording until it finishes installing features. After completing the installation of features, it will request a restart. Okay. So basically click on the start now. Now it will make another boot from network. In this case, you won't click F12. Okay? In this case, don't click F12. It will ask you now to click F12 to make a connection with the Wds server to download the boot image. Don't click it to F12, because if you click to F12 again, it will make another installation. Now, as you see here, we already have Windows 7 already installed in our virtual machine. We'll complete the configuration for this virtual machine, and I think it's already clear that we already deployed Windows 7 through Windows Server 2012 R2. Okay? Any questions? Make practice, inshallah. As much practice as you make, you need to make practice. Other way you can't. At home, here, okay? You need to buy a computer. If you don't have a computer, you need to buy a computer and start practicing. The key feature here is practice. Practice. Practice, practice, and practice. Okay? If you find it difficult, yes, it's difficult a little bit. Too much configurations. But if you make a practice, it should be easy. Okay? Any questions?